guys.
This generation, Elon Musk.
Hey. Hey guys.
I'm gonna grab my stuff. You sit there.
Yep.
I'm gonna take this.
All right. Thanks for taking the time. How you doing, brother? You keeping busy?
Yeah. I mean, it's rarely a slow week. I mean, in the world as well.
Yeah.
I mean, any given week, it just seems like the things get nuttier.
It's definitely a simulation. We've agreed on this at this point.
I mean, if we are in some alien Netflix series, I think the ratings are high.
Yes. Ratings are high. How are the freedom of speech wars going? This is you've been at war for 2 years now.
Yes.
The price of freedom of speech is not cheap, is it?
I think it's like 44 billion, something like that.
Just
Round numbers.
give or take $1 billion.
Yeah, round numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nutty. There is like this weird movement to quell free speech kind of around the world, and that's something we should be very concerned about. You have to ask, like, why was the First Amendment like a high priority? It was like number one. It's because people came from countries where if you spoke freely, you would be imprisoned or killed. And they were like, well, we'd like to not have that here, because that was terrible.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a lot of places in the world right now, if you're critical of the government, you get imprisoned or killed.
Right.
Yeah, and we'd like to not have that.
Are you concerned?
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I mean, I suspect this is a receptive audience to that message.
Yeah. I think we always thought that the West was the exception to that we knew there were authoritarian places around the world, but we thought that in the West we'd have freedom of speech. And we've seen, like you said, it seems like a global movement. In Britain, you've got teenagers being put in prison for memes,
Yes.
opposing.
It's like you liked a Facebook post, throw them in the prison.
Yeah, it's
Like people have got an actual, prison for like obscure comments on social media.
Not even shit posting yet.
Like not even.
Yeah.
Áno, provokujem túto vanilkovú dobu, aby tu ostali mysle, ktoré schvenia vzduchu v ušiach, nemajú trvalé následky. Poslušní si o sebe vždy myslia, že sú skôr cnostní, než zbabeli. Za každé zrušenie odberu zapalím jednu sviečku.
This sometimes comes across as Elon's trying to just be a crazy whatever billionaire and demand outrageous things from other countries, and while that is true, in addition, there are other things that I think are valid, which is like we obviously can't. I think any given thing that we do at X Corp, we've got to be able to explain in the light of day and not feel that it was dishonorable or we did the wrong thing. So we don't. That's the nature of the concern. So there have been 3 articles, and I think in the past 3 weeks.
Robert Reich.
But it wasn't just him. It was like 3 different articles.
3 different articles. Yeah.
That's a trend.
Calling for me to be imprisoned in the Guardian. Guardian of what?
What are they protecting exactly? Yeah.
Guardian of, I don't know.
Authoritarianism?
Yeah. Guardian of
Censorship?
Censorship.
But the premise here is that you bought this thing, this online forum, this communication platform, and you're allowing people to use it to express themselves, therefore you have to be jailed. I don't understand the logic here.
Right.
What do you think they're actually afraid of at this point? What's the motivation here?
I mean, I think if somebody's afraid, if somebody's sort of trying to push a false premise on the world, then that premise can be undermined with public dialogue, then they will be opposed to public dialogue on that premise because they wish that false premise to prevail.
Right.
So that's, I think, the issue there is if they don't like the truth, then we want to suppress it. So I'm going to give you a recent example that is just insane. Is that like SpaceX was fined by the EPA $140,000 for they claimed dumping potable water on the ground, drinking water. So, and we're like, this is at Starbase, and we're like, we're in a tropical thunderstorm region. That stuff comes from the sky all the time, and there was no actual harm done. It was just water to cool the launch pad during liftoff. And there's zero harm done. And they agree, yes, there's zero harm done. And we're like, okay, so there's no harm done, and but you want us to pay a $140,000 fine? It's like, yes, because you didn't have a permit. Okay. We didn't know there was a permit needed for zero harm fresh water being on the ground in a place where fresh water falls from the sky all the time.
Got it. Next to the ocean.
Next to the ocean.
Because there's a little bit of water there too.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it rains so much the roads are flooded. So we're like, how does this make any sense?
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we're not going to process any more of your applications for Starship launch, unless you pay this $140,000. So they just ransomed us, and we're like, okay, so we paid $140,000. But it's like, this is no good. I mean, at this rate, we're never going to get to Mars.
I mean, that's the confounding part here.
Yeah.
Is we're acting against our own self-interest. Well, so, in 4 years, if you could shrink the size of the government with Trump, what would be a good target? Just in terms of, like, ballpark.
I mean, are you trying to get me assassinated before this even happens?
No.
And no, I think actually the reality is that if we get rid of nonsense regulations and shift people from the government sector to the private sector, we will have immense prosperity, and I think we will have a golden age in this country. And it'll be fantastic.
Can we talk about SpaceX?
A very exciting launch that is maybe happening tonight. So if the weather is holding up, then I'm going to leave here, head to Cape Canaveral.
Let's assume that's successful. And
I sure hope so, man.
No pressure.
Yeah, we're absolutely astronaut safety is, man. If I had like all the wishes I could save up, that'd be the one to put it on. So, space is dangerous.
A space capsule orbiting more than 400 miles above Earth.
The next milestone after that would be the next flight of Starship, which Starship the next flight of Starship is ready to fly. We are waiting for regulatory approval.
Yeah.
It really should not be possible to build a giant rocket faster than the paper can move from one desk to another.
That stamp is really hard. Approved.
Yeah. Based on our current progress, where with Starship we were able to successfully reach orbital velocity twice. We were able to achieve soft landings of the booster and the ship in water, and that's despite the ship having half its flaps cooked off. So you can see the video on the X platform. It's quite exciting.
Keď ten dizajn prežíva 20 minút pekla, ktorým prechádzajú len tie najodvážnejšie meteority. Keď to najstatočnejšie krídielko v histórii vydrží brzdenie 26 000 km za hodinu, 10-násobok rýchlosti náboja strelnej zbrane. Keď zapne motory a zabrzdí to na nulu pri dotyku hladiny.
So, we think we'll be able to to launch reliably and repeatedly and quite quickly. And the fundamental holy grail breakthrough for rocketry, the fundamental breakthrough that is needed for life to become multiplanetary is a rapidly reusable, reliable rocket.
As is often the case, his next move is unclear.
I started SpaceX because an extremely important goal is becoming a spacefaring civilization, ultimately becoming a multiplanetary species. And if we're not on that path, then we really need to get on that path.
As is often the case, his next move is unclear.
The really big breakthrough that's needed, the fundamental invention that is needed to make life multiplanetary is a fully reusable orbit class rocket system.
Rapidly reusable, reliable rocket.
As is often the case, his next move is unclear.
It's just it's incredibly important that we have things that we find inspiring, that you look to the future and say the future is going to be better than the past, things to look forward to. And like kids are a good way to assess this. Like, what are kids fired up about? And if you can say, you could be an astronaut on Mars. You could maybe one day go beyond the solar system. We could make Star Trek, Starfleet Academy real. That is an exciting future. That is inspiring. You need things that move your heart.
Right. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's do it. Fuck.
Yes.
I mean,
Like life can't just be about solving one miserable problem after another.
Right.
There's got to be things that you look forward to as well.
yeah.
You're not allowed to make things up.
Do we want to have this technology that you're building, the team's working so hard on, stolen by other countries, and then, maybe they don't have as much red tape?
I wish people were trying to steal it. So that no one's trying to steal it. It's just too. It's too crazy, basically.
Yeah. And that's for you. Yeah, it's way too crazy.
Elon, what do you think is going on that led to Boeing building the Starliner the way that they did? They were able to get it up.
But not complete.
But can't complete.
They can't finish.
Can't finish. And
I don't
now
understand.
you're going to have to go up and finish.
I think at least up until perhaps recently, because they have a new CEO who actually shows up in the factory.
Yeah.
and the CEO before that, I think, had a degree in accounting and never went to the factory and didn't know how airplanes flew. So I think if you are in charge of a company that makes airplanes fly and a spacecraft go to orbit,
You need to know
then
the rocket equation.
it can't be a total mystery as to how they work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the spending on AI probably runs ahead of, I mean, it does run ahead of the revenue right now. There's no question about that. But the rate of improvement of AI is faster than any technology I've ever seen by far. But once you have general purpose humanoid robots and autonomous vehicles, you can build anything. And I think that there's no actual limit to the size of the economy. I mean, there's obviously, the mass of Earth, like that will be one limit.
You guys just turned on Colossus, which
Yeah.
is like the largest private compute cluster, I guess, of GPUs anywhere. Is that, right? Is that right?
It's the most powerful supercomputer of any kind. There's training and inference, and we do have those two projects at Tesla. We've got Dojo, which is the training computer, and then our inference chip, which is in every car, inference computer. And Dojo, we've only had Dojo 1. Dojo 2 is, we should have Dojo 2 in volume towards the end of next year. And that will be, we think, sort of comparable to sort of a B200 type system, a training system. So I guess there's some potential for that to be used as a service. I guess I have like some improved confidence in Dojo. But I think we won't really know how good Dojo is until probably version 3. Like, it usually takes 3 major iterations on a technology for it to be excellent. And we'll only have the second major iteration next year. The third iteration, I don't know, maybe late, 26 or something like that.
How's the
I would say major iterations are less than 2 years, so
okay.
It's probably on the order of 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 to get to 1 million units a year.
And at that price point, everybody can afford one on
Yes.
planet Earth.
I think the number of robots will vastly exceed the number of humans.
Vastly, yeah.
Vastly
okay.
exceed. I mean, you have to say, like, who would not want their robot buddy? Everyone wants a robot buddy.
Totally.
No, I think the sort of useful humanoid robot opportunity is the single biggest opportunity ever.